who can get enough of the word of Allah, the speech of Allah, who can get enough from the medicine that's a cure for the heart, the soul, and the body. The Quran, a cure from doubts and desires. The Quran is a cure from worries, anxiety, and depression. Some people tell me, when I tell them to recite the Quran to relieve their problems, they say, well, they call me the next morning and say, well, I'm still depressed. I still got the doubts. I tell them, when a doctor gives medication, and we're talking about similar to that antidepressant medication, one of the things he says about some of them is keep taking it for 3 weeks or 4 weeks for the medicine to kick in and you get its effect. And after that, don't ever stop taking it. The Quran needs close friendship. It needs close friendship to take effect. It needs consistent, persistent dedication and recitation in order to see its effect. One of the dua of the worries and depression and anxiety that the Prophet ﷺ taught us, that no one says it except his worries and depression will be gone and he'll be relieved of them, and it will be replaced with happiness. ما أصاب المؤمن ما أصاب أحد قط هم ولا حزن فقال اللهم إني عبدك وابن عبدك وابن أمتك ناصيتي بيدك ماض في حكمك عدل في قضاءك أسألك بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن ربيع قلبي ونور صدري وجلاء حزني وذهاب همي. The Prophet ﷺ said, no one makes that dua except his worries and his sadness and depression will go away and he'll be relieved of it, and Allah will replace it with happiness in it and ease. Sheikh, your prescription is not working. Your prescription is not working. You always get that. I say, okay, brother, when's the last time you read Quran? Sheikh, you told me to read this dua, not Quran. Just tell me, when is the last time you read Quran? Well, last Ramadan, a couple years ago. I can't remember. Many days ago. Do you know an essential sentence of that dua is أن تجعل القرآن ربيع قلبي ونور صدري? You're asking Allah in that dua to take your worry away, your problem, your sadness, by making the Quran the spring of your heart, the brightness to your chest. I ask you by Allah, how can the dua work if the Quran is sitting collecting dust, when part of your dua is replacing the anxiety with the happiness of the Quran? Of course it's not going to work. I could have told you that. The dua needs recitation of the Quran to work with it. It's a combo of medication. I know a man in prison, wallahi al-azim, they had him in solitary confinement for a long time. The psychiatrist comes by that unit to check in on the people once or twice a week. He walks by, he does his round. And they have to do it because that's an area where people snap and lose their minds frequently. When they would pass this man's cell, the psychiatrist says to him, do you need anything? The man refuses to answer. And sometimes he'll say no. It amazes the psychiatrist that this man is sitting 24/7, on a good day, 23/7. And when the psychiatrist passes by, the inmates run to the window, that little window. It's nice to lay your eyes on a human walking. That's a beautiful sight when you haven't seen that for years. It's nice to merely say hi and bye to another human being. To see something other than your four walls. And this person is sitting content, happy, doesn't even look at the window. The psychiatrist was amazed. Why are you so happy and at ease? You never asked for anything. He told the psychiatrist, I got my best friend, and the Quran was right next to him. He showed him the Quran. For one who understands what the Quran is, what else do you need? You need someone to talk to? Would you rather talk to creation and not the Creator? If you want the miraculous effect of the Quran to take place, befriend it. Befriend it. Befriend the Quran so it'll be a means of cure for all ailments, spiritual and otherwise, and raising of your ranks, which is the most important. Befriend the Quran if you want to understand it. Friends never share secrets until they get very well acquainted. Then they begin to exchange gifts. Then secrets take place and you exchange secrets. Then they begin to console and comfort each other. Begin to friend the Quran so you can see its miraculous effects and benefits. Wallahi al-azim, there's not a friend you can befriend better than the friendship of the Quran. If you're lonely, head to the Quran. If you're sad, open the Quran. If you're depressed, listen and read the Quran. It's a cure for that and more. If you're happy, read the Quran, your way of thinking of Allah. وَلَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. What more do you want from friendship that will land you to paradise and Firdaus? Recite and elevate. Recite and ascend. The elevator of the Quran that will land you in your final and ultimate destiny. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah says harsh words about this. He says, whoever the Quran does not cure, may Allah not cure him. And whoever the Quran is not sufficient, may nothing be sufficient for him. من لم يشفه القرآن فلا شفاء له ومن لم يكفه القرآن فلا كفاه الله. It's Ramadan now. It's still not late, even though some days pass by in Ramadan. Roll up your sleeves, take an oath, and begin a new friendship with this friendly book, the Quran, the abandoned book. Wallahi al-Azim, there's no contact you can add to your iPhone better than downloading the text and audio of the word of Allah. When you need someone to talk to, and you're looking at your contacts, go to the Quran and listen to it and recite it.